Hey everybody, Bill Panoff here. You know, after being in the cruise industry for over 25 years, growing up in this industry, there is one place every year that the entire industry converges upon, and that is Seatrade Cruise Global. This is the single largest gathering of the cruise industry. Suppliers and vendors from all over the world, all the cruise executives, the latest trends, innovations. If you want to know anything about cruising, it's Seatrade Cruise Global, April 25th, Miami Beach Convention Center. Be there. We're here with Kiera Georgie, the Global Brand Director of Seatrade Cruise Global. It's a pleasure to see you in person.
Yes, pleasure's all mine. Happy to be here, Bill.
Nice to have you here. You know, for those of you that are not in the industry, what is Seatrade Cruise Global?
Okay, so Seatrade Cruise Global is the B2B cruise industry event. It's been running for 36 years, and it brings together the entire supply chain of the cruise industry. So when you walk onto the show floor, you can walk through the entire world, all the ports and destinations that cruises sail to, and on the other side, you can walk around the ship, from the shipyards that actually build the ships, to the engine manufacturers and food and beverage providers and the entertainment providers and the designers. So it's really the place to be if you work within the cruise industry.
Awesome. I understand the theme for this year's Seatrade is resilience. Why did you pick that theme?
Well, I think when we looked at this being our first real global reunion of the industry since the pandemic hit, the one resounding theme that has come out of how the industry has coped with the last couple of years is resilience. I think we were talking about that, you know, even before the pandemic, through all the different moments in history where the cruise has come through the other end. But I think really there's never been anything quite like what's happened in the last couple of years, where the entire industry had to come to a standstill. Right. But we can see how quickly and how beautifully they're building back and they're sailing again. And so for me, there's something in the word resilience that shows the positivity that emanates from this industry and how I think we will come back so much stronger.
And the people really are a big part of that. I mean, the people behind this industry are just so passionate, and that nothing is going to keep them down.
Oh, no, absolutely. And whether that's, you're talking about the crew on board, you know, or the people who are working in those offices, or, you know, the ports and the destinations and the suppliers, everyone really has come out the other end, and we're not 100% there yet, but I feel like we will get there.
And the demand from passengers. I mean, people want to cruise. Nothing is going to hold them back. They want to go on their cruise. What better vacation is there where the scenery changes many times during the cruise, the food is included, the entertainment is included. I mean, it's phenomenal.
I agree with you, and I cannot wait to get back on a ship. I know you've been at least.
I've been on several. Well, I'm going to invite you on the next one.
Please do. I'm jealous. I want to be there.
Okay, no problem. What can you tell us about the AI matchmaking software at the show this year?
Well, so we know that when it comes to Seatrade Cruise Global, so many of our, whether there are exhibitors or our buyers out there, when they come to the show, they sort of know how to schedule their meetings and know how to schedule their weeks, the week of meetings. But when it comes to some of our smaller sectors, our growth sectors, that's not something that is as strong. And so we have, over the past few years, looked into different matchmaking services to really help enable those meetings to take place during Seatrade Cruise Global. So we're excited to be working with this company called Sector, who is dedicated to really helping make sure those meetings are valuable ones, and you know, come with the quality that you want to make sure that if you're spending time having a meeting, you're meeting with somebody who is going to be the right potential partner. And so Sector, not only is it an online matchmaking service where you go in and you put in your preferences and the AI tool will help connect you to the people you're looking for, But there's actually a concierge service that will be helping out our new exhibitors and our growth sector exhibitors to try and target the right buyers out there to make sure that they have the right meetings. So we're really excited to have this year. It involves also having a matchmaking lounge, so a dedicated space on the show floor where people can go and meet with one another. And so, yeah, we're excited to see how it works. This is the first year we're using it. We wanted to use it in 2020, but of course then that event never happened. So let's see. I look forward to seeing what the results are.
So this happens obviously at the event, but also pre-event as well, obviously.
Yes.
So the consumer and the supplier and the vendor can have a better use of their time and target those particular people that they want to spend time with, because at the conference itself, it's a massive gathering, so this will make it fine-tuned and much easier to find the person you're looking for.
Well, absolutely, and I think what it will also do is really help anyone who's new to the industry, new to the event. Again, those who have been coming for years, they might have a great system to set up all their meetings already. But for anyone who's new and who might feel a little bit overwhelmed by the amount of vendors and people that come to Seatrade Cruise Global, this will really help them sort of facilitate those meetings. And yes, so what will happen is ahead of the event, everyone will receive an invitation to log in and explore the matchmaking platform, and hopefully set everything up ahead of the event. But if you do have any questions, there will be the dedicated matchmaking lounge with people from sector there to answer any questions.
It's like a dating app almost.
Almost.
So if we have a vendor who is single from Norway and another vendor who's female from the States, and they come together, apart from meeting on a business level, maybe we can be the first to put them together, and they'll be married next year because of this app.
I mean, I already know of a few people who have met at Seatrade Cruise Global over the years and who have married. So why not turn it into an actual service that you can use?
That is amazing. So. Wow. At what moment in your career were you the most proud of being associated with the cruise industry?
I think there's a few moments that I can think of. One was definitely when we brought the event back to Miami in 2019. For 3 years we had to run the event in Fort Lauderdale, and Fort Lauderdale was a wonderful host. I mean, they really treated us so well. But Miami is our home. And so that feeling, I think, that myself and the entire team had of being able to bring it back to its home, and it was the most successful event that we've had to date. So that was definitely a really strong moment. I think the second is probably when 6 months after the pandemic started, we ran a virtual event. And we actually had a virtual State of the Industry keynote.
I remember.
And there was something really spectacular about that moment as well. It was completely new for us to be running something virtual to that scale. But the reception and the enthusiasm from the industry in a moment when the industry wasn't really fully operating. I think that was the first moment that the word resilience really came out. Because you could feel it in the air. But I think there's going to be something special about this year's event.
Oh yeah, you're back. You're back in Miami. You're back in a brand new facility. The Miami Beach Convention Center is phenomenal now.
It is. And this time in 2019, it wasn't fully finished. Whereas now it is finished. And I think there's going to be a certain level of enthusiasm and buzz in the air from finally bringing that industry back together again after 3 years. So I'm really excited.
Long overdue, and everybody is standing in line. We can't wait. Only almost a month away. And counting.
6 weeks to be exact.
6 weeks away and counting.
6 weeks today.
Okay,
there you go.
What do you believe to be the most valuable part of the entire Seatrade experience?
I think it's really that homecoming feeling, right? That networking, the collaborations that happen from bringing the entire industry together. I know that this industry is quite a small one, and everybody is really connected to one another.
It's like one big family.
We are. We're like one big family, and some of us are actually family. Some of us are very close friends.
Right.
But I think there's something about this industry where a lot of innovation comes out of these collaborations that happen. And so I think for me, that's probably the most valuable thing that comes out of Seatrade Cruise Global, is just that ability to bring people together from around the world to really collaborate, innovate, learn from one another too. It's really the only moment in the year that you get that to that scale.
And it's an open book. Everybody is very willing to share, which is a great, unlike some other industries where everything is very protective. At Seatrade, everybody is an open book, really.
Absolutely. Well, I think that everybody realizes that we all succeed together. Right. We will get so much further as an industry, and we will grow more if we work closer together. Honestly, there's always going to be some competition. Why wouldn't there be? But I think that's what's really special about this industry, and probably what has kept you and me in this industry for so long.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which events this year are you the most excited for attendees to experience?
I think, there are so many events that take place during Seatrade Cruise Global. What I'm most excited for is for attendees to really make sure that they're targeting their sector. And for each sector, we have a reception to allow those communities to come together and network and collaborate. So if you're part of the hotel ops and food and beverage sector of the industry, we have a reception for you. Tech, entertainment, design, health and safety, each have their own receptions. And actually, for the first time, Thursday will be fully dedicated to expedition cruising.
Oh, wow.
So all of our content that day is about expedition cruising, and for the first time we're going to cap it off with a reception to allow that sector to come together and serenade the day. And so we're really excited about that. And then of course we do have Professional Women Cruise, which is usually a brunch that takes place on Thursday, but we've actually this year decided to move it to Tuesday, and so it will be a lunch instead of a brunch right after the keynote, and we're really excited for that one, and that will be all about boutique travel. So definitely, and the proceeds from the Professional Women in Cruise go to mostly ships. So always excited for that event.
Super exciting.
Yeah.
Wow. How does it feel to have Seatrade again and to have everyone back together once again?
I mean, it's just so exciting, right?
Yeah.
We were able to run an event last year in September, but those were under very different circumstances. Unfortunately, travel restrictions were still quite tight, whereas this year, the borders are open to come into the US. So there really is an excitement in the air. I know, I hear it from my team. I hear it from our ambassadors, from our partners. If you go onto LinkedIn or any social media, you can see that buzz, building towards the event. So for me, it's 3 years in the making. So I'm really excited.
It's a homecoming, long overdue.
Long overdue, and there's a certain level of pride as well. To have had a team. We were talking about the theme of resilience. We have a team behind Seatrade Cruise that has, worked the last couple of years and has shown their own level of resilience to work through the pandemic. And so some of our team members have never been to a Seatrade Cruise Global.
Oh, wow.
So for me, there's a certain level of pride and excitement even for them to be able to come and witness this and to see what all their hard work, what it looks like in the end.
Are there any new panels this year at Seatrade that you never had before? And if so, what are they?
Oh, there are plenty. There are probably too many for us to list. But I think there are a few that are definitely worth calling out. The first would be that we are finally doing a session around PR and communications.
Oh, perfect.
And I think that
I'll be there.
Exactly. I think that session this was something that we wanted to do again back in 2020.
Right.
We know that communications in the industry is such an important part of the growth that the industry sees.
Sure.
But I think the lessons that can be learned from what's happened the last couple of years, we should really make for an interesting session there. And then I'm really excited. We've partnered with the Satellite Maritime Network, and so they're going to be helping us to bring content for the tech sector to the show. And that will be capped off by Ian Richardson, who's our ambassador for tech.
Sure.
He has helped us curate the rest of the program for the day. So we have an entire day's worth of content just for the tech industry. And actually, one of the other things that's happening for the tech sector of the industry is we have an interactive tech zone for the first time on the show floor, where you can go and you can test out new VR headsets, and there's going to be a rapid app prototype exercise. So actually, that's something that is worth talking about. You know, if there's anybody out there who has an idea for an app and they need help building it up, you know, reach out to us, because we're going to have our partners there to help them build out this app prototype and present it to the cruise industry.
And this is something you've never had before.
No, we've never had, and so we're really excited for that. And then the same for our other sectors. You know, we have sessions for food and beverage to really bring that sector together. Health and safety. I mean, John Sifling, our ambassador for the health and safety sector, he's been working really, really hard on putting together a 3-day program that has so many interesting topics. And as I mentioned before, the expedition day.
Right.
And of course, there's always the keynote.
Right, exactly.
The state of the global cruise industry, which will kick everything off. And for the first time, we're going to have Jason Liberty on that session.
Awesome.
So it'll be interesting to hear from his perspective how the industry is, what that future looks like. So no, it's a lot. There's a lot going on.
Very exciting. Very exciting.
And I would just suggest, go to the website, go and check out the conference program, because we're back to having a full 4-day sturdy conference program.
Awesome. In closing, what do you hope to be the biggest takeaway from this year's conference?
Well, I think obviously with the theme resilience, I want everybody to walk away with that sense of hope, right? That if we've managed to, I don't want to use the word survive, right? But work through the last couple of years and come out the other end, then this is a really strong industry with really dedicated people who want to make sure it succeeds and want to make sure it comes out the other end and keeps growing. So I think that that's probably the biggest thing. And then just that feeling of being part of this community again, that inspiration of what new partnerships and collaborations could come out of this industry, and how we, work towards that future and get back on track to where we were pre-pandemic. So, I think that's it. I think if I can just see everybody walking out of the convention center with a big smile on their face, I think then we would have done a good job.
Well, I know they'll have a smile on their face when they enter the convention center, because it's been so long since you've had the event, and we're super excited to be there and thrilled to be a part of it and have been a part of it over the years. And Kiera, Georgie, applaud you and your team for what you have done and to bring Seatrade Cruise Global back to Miami Beach at the convention center. We will see you there April 25th. I'm Bill Panoff. Thanks for tuning in, and you're watching Cruise Control.